Is it exam season or final season for you and you go to the library and you see that girl across the library, headphones on, laptop out, entire ecosystem laid out on her desk, and she's so locked in, you're like, oh my god, I know she's got good grades, I know she's gonna ace this final season, and I want to be her. Well, you're in luck, because I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how to lock in, and not only that, how to actually study for your exams. Yes, this is gonna be that girl or that student's exam study guide. I'm just gonna go over all of my personal exam study tips so that you can be that student, get those grades, stay locked in for exam season, and just overall like feel good about yourself. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do something that I've actually surprised that I haven't just done already. Yeah, if you're new here, my name is Serena and you should subscribe. I'm going to be doing like an all-inclusive, is that the right word? I don't know, of that girl's exam study guide. So I've done other sort of like that girl slash that student type of videos, and I think a lot of people like them. And I'm so surprised that I haven't done an exam study guide, because I feel like this is like so important, and this is just like based on my experience. I know that there's lots of like actual science-backed methods of studying and all that. You can totally look that up, search that up, all of that. I'm not necessarily talking about techniques, I'm more so talking about just like general tips that I follow that have really helped me to study for my exams and do decently well on most of my exams, or at least pass them, which if you're aiming for an A+, I think that's just more so the amount of time and dedication you put in, and there's just like so many other factors, but this is my specific guide on how I do as well as I want to do for school. Number one, and I usually say this in almost all of my finals study vlogs, so like if you've seen them or if you're a longtime viewer of me, you'll definitely know about this. I always organize and plan. I use Notion and I use Google Calendar to just plan out my entire schedule for my exams, and so this starts as soon as my exam schedule is released. As soon as I get that, I'm going to just time block it all out on my Google Calendar. I actually already have a calendar made specifically for examinations, and what I really like about this is I can just add an automatic notification. So I usually do a week before notification and 3 days before notification, just so that it really tells me when I need to start studying. Again, this is so helpful because then I can see not only like the overall layout of my exam period, so I know like exactly when each exam is. Let's say some of them are really squished together or they're further apart, and then plus the notification, I know exactly when I need to start studying for each exam. And then for my Notion, I use my to-do list and I just divide up the work day by day. This really helps to break things down and make things a lot less overwhelming for me. So for example, if I have two finals that are like back to back or within 48 hours of each other, so let's say they're one after another, right, like Monday, Tuesday, or if they're Monday, Wednesday, I will usually have some of the studying overlap with each other. So my to-do list is really helpful because then I can just separate by the sections. So I can say, for example, like study economics on Monday up to this chapter, and then also study like my biomedical course up to this chapter on the same day. And then I can sort of switch between the two studying so that I cover enough so that I can study for both exams at the same time. Number two, and this sort of goes in hand with the Notion to-do list, is to set reasonable expectations. So I don't know if you've heard of SMART goals, but that's an acronym, and that basically means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So for your goals to be achievable, they have to be realistic. And this is realistic in terms of how best you know yourself, I would say, because like if I can get through, let's say 3 chapters in a day, maybe other people can't, maybe you can do more. So this is sort of like trial and error, but I would say just like if you're starting off and you don't know, don't overwhelm yourself by setting too high of an expectation, because not only will this overwhelm you completely, maybe give you more anxiety, It'll also make you feel really disappointed if you don't meet all of your goals for the day, or like you don't check off every single to-do list box. So I would just say set something realistic and reasonable so that you can feel a little bit happier when you can actually check off all the boxes that you need. Like I've mentioned, as important as these study tips are, it's so important that you have a good environment to actually practice studying for all of your exams. And that's why I love using Paperlike when I'm taking notes, studying, reviewing things on my iPad, specifically Paperlike's paper screen protector. So I just have my notebooks all pulled up here, and my favorite thing about the Paperlike screen protector is just, first of all, how it's anti-glare when I'm using my iPad. Lights that are shining down, I don't have glare when I'm trying to write and see exactly what I'm writing. Not only that, Paperlike uses a special technology called nanodots technology, which basically helps to mimic the feel of writing on paper. Not only that, it will not wear down your Apple Pencil at all. I've been using this screen protector for a while and my tip still looks basically brand new. And yeah, overall, I just love the feel of the Paperlike screen protector. It just feels so much nicer when I'm spending long times looking at my iPad and writing notes down while I'm studying. So I really recommend that you guys try out Paperlike today. It'll be linked down in my description box, and I want to thank Paperlike for sponsoring this portion of the video. Number 3 is to practice, and this will depend on the type of content that you're studying. So for me, I'm an engineering major, so I do a lot of application-based practice. But if you're like a humanities major, I would say review your course content and make cue cards based on course definitions, maybe do some practice writing and like answering long answer, short answer questions, that sort of stuff. So basically I'm saying like you have to differentiate between your courses. If it's more application heavy or if it's more theory heavy, you should just apply the proper study techniques for each one. An example for me is for math, I always like to review the content and I apply it to test my problem solving skills. So it just really shows if I actually understand the concept that I'm testing myself on. Problem solving skills, guys, don't underestimate them. They're so important when you're doing math or STEM subjects. Really understanding the exact problem, what you're trying to solve, and the steps to get there is really, really key. For biology, I really like watching videos, and especially videos that have like some sort of animation, drawing, that sort of thing. And then I draw diagrams to sort of just connect all of the parts together and really focus on memorizing specific terminology. Another tip is, back when I was in first year, I thought that if I just memorized how to solve each problem, I would be fine since the test formats were all the same. This does not work. I can tell you this from firsthand experience, having failed my fair share of exams, trying to just do this. You must just understand the concept. You may be able to just memorize certain things, maybe for like some easier sort of subjects or less theory-based, concept-based courses, but I can tell you physics, math, Calc 3, for example, like just memorizing a type of question will not help you at all when you're in your exam. You have to understand what's going on. For my engineering girlies and guys, but I know it's mostly the girls here, how exactly do you practice? I'm saying like practice, whatever, you know, how do you do that? So if you had assigned textbook questions, if you had problem sets, or if your professor gives out like exam questions, do them, practice them. I really recommend following along with the assigned problems and questions throughout the course because that really helps with actually learning the material. You should just practice them as much as possible. And number 1, don't look at the answers, guys, because I know it's so tempting, but it often does more harm than good. And this is, again, from firsthand experience. That doesn't help with problem solving at all, especially if you're just trying to memorize those answers. It doesn't help. So typically for me, I just try to work through a set of questions first. Once I'm done, I'll check to see if I'm wrong, and then I try to figure out where I went wrong and sort of like work backwards from the answer to see like the proper method to doing the question. This also helps to train your problem solving skills so that under pressure, you know exactly how to apply them. Number 5 is your study environment. Personally, I really like to do a mix of studying at home, studying in libraries. It honestly just depends on how motivated I am in the moment and also the weather, because I don't like walking if it's snowing outside or raining outside. But I think just mixing up your environment can really help you to focus better and to also stay more motivated throughout final season, because usually in the library, I personally feel very motivated. At home, sometimes I can feel a little bit like unmotivated, and it's also a great place to study with friends if they can help motivate you as well. And number 6, and this is going to be the last one, is how to stay motivated and how to avoid burnout. Obviously, watch my videos. If you haven't seen any of my finals or just exam vlogs, I really recommend, because sometimes I'm watching them and I'm like, wow, past me was so motivated to do this. Like, I gotta keep doing that. And also, so many of you guys comment saying how much this helps you to stay motivated and actually get through final season. So I really recommend, because I just give out lots of tips while I'm studying, and you also see me study and go through final season alongside you. I talk a lot about just like personally how I'm feeling throughout it all. So I think it's kind of like comforting sometimes, because I know it's hard. We've all been there and we've all been like doing that. I think just watching other people study and being motivated helps you do the same. Another thing for avoiding burnout is taking breaks. I've mentioned this like countless amount of times, but it seriously will reduce your chances of burnout, just because if you've been grinding like crazy, everyone deserves a break, guys. You deserve some me time, do some self-care, and you know, you always have the next day to get back on it. Just give yourself a break. Reasonable break, of course. Don't procrastinate. But yeah, those are all of my tips. I hope that was like a really good rundown, especially if you don't want to have to go through like all however many videos I've had. This is sort of like an accumulation of all the tips I've been giving throughout the years while doing my finals or midterms exam vlogs. Yeah, I hope if people are still going through your final seasons, I hope you guys are doing pretty okay. I hope this helps you stay even more motivated. And I am currently working, so stay tuned for my co-op vlogs. I think after this one I'll do some like day in the life style work vlogs, so you guys can see what it's like working as an engineering intern at a company. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas for videos you want me to post, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys.